When I was in the third grade, I had the biggest and the craziest crush on this girl in my class. Her name was Deborah, and she was the it girl of grade school. She was pretty, she was popular, she was smart, and most importantly at the time, she could kill any opponent she wanted to in the game of tetherball. It was over. All the boys in school liked her, including me. And at this point in my elementary school career, third grade, I had liked Deborah for about a year and a half. Just admiring her from afar kind of thing. And one day, I don't know how or why it happened, but I finally worked up enough courage to tell Deborah that I liked her. It was kind of like what happens in my favorite classic movie called The Sandlot, when Squints Palladores just works up enough courage to make his move on Wendy Peppercorn, the lifeguard. It was kind of like that. I just decided I'm going to let her know that I like her. And Deborah was a classy girl, so I knew I had to do it big to impress her. And so I did some undercover research on her, and I found out at the time that her favorite music artist was Paula Abdul. It was Paula Abdul. So I convinced my mom to take me to the local music store. I bought a Paula Abdul single cassette tape, one of these old school bad boys right here. I know you guys are thinking, man, like I don't even know what that is, but I bought her one of these things, and it was Paula Abdul's most recent single. And I went home and I started to wrap it up. And as I was wrapping it up, I realized I had $5 left from when I bought it for my allowance. And so I decided to just take the $5, include it with the note, wrap up the cassette tape, and the note said, "Hey Deborah, I just want to let you know I like you. Love, Dave." And the final product looked something like this. Yeah. And so the plan was to get this on Deborah's desk in the morning before she even got to her desk, so that it would be a total surprise for her. And so I got to school early. I executed the plan well. I was the first in line. I lined up first, and right when our teacher opened the door to let us in the classroom, I bolted in. And I took the love package, this love package right here with the cassette tape and the $5 bill on top, and I put it right on her desk. And I just waited, sat back down, and was waiting patiently. And as closer to 8 o'clock, I turn around and I see Deborah walking in the door, walking towards her desk. And at that point, all I could do was hope and pray and hope that the feelings were mutual. You see, I took the initiative. I made the first move. I wanted her to know that I liked her. I put my heart out on a table, and it was in the form of a cassette tape. And so I just sat there waiting. All I could do was hope and pray, and I was just waiting for the best, hoping she'd be impressed. But to make a long story short, the feelings were not mutual. I know, and I was bummed out for about 8 years. Just kidding. Now there's an even better love story that you guys really should know about, and it involves God, and it involves us. And just as I made my interest known to Deborah, that I liked her, that I displayed my affections for her, so does God for us. God has given us this huge signal that He also is interested in us. You see, He makes the first move. He takes the risk. He takes the initiative to tell us that He loves us. And there's a verse in the scriptures that just completely rocked me when I first read it. It just blew my mind. That verse is 1 John 4:19. And 1 John 4:19 says this: "We love because He first loved us." There's an interesting Greek term that's used for the word first in that passage. That Greek term in the original language of the Bible is the term protos. It basically signals something that comes early in chronological sequence. In other words, God first loved us. Who made the first move in this relationship? God did. And what's more interesting is that the Greek term for the word love in that verse, loved, is used in the aorist past tense. And in the Greek, the aorist past tense was this unique tense that was used. It points back to a singular instance or event in which God demonstrated His love for us, a single event. And so you might be asking, what was that event? What was God's love package for us? What love package did God put on our table? Well, if you think about it, the Bible tells us that God demonstrated his love for us in this, that he sent his son to die for us. You see, God sent his son to die on a cross as a substitute for our sins. He makes his intentions known. He says, hey, I'm going to make the first move. I'm going to walk towards you. I'm going to take the risk and tell you that I love you. And what makes this verse even more profound is that the Bible teaches that Jesus Christ was himself God. So God put his own life on the line. You see, God displays his affection towards us. He first loved us. He took the risk. He took the initiative. He made the first move. He took the first step. And in the same way that I set my heart out on a table and just waited for a response from Deborah, hoping that she'd like me back, God sends a love package on our desk in the form of his son dying on a cross, and he waits for a response from us. 1 John 4:19, we love because he first loved us. And in the same way that I put my heart out on a table for Deborah to see in the form of a cassette tape, God puts his heart out on the table for us to see, and it's in the form of a cross.